Good morning, St. Johns County. I'm Davey from Inc. Investing in Kids. This is St. Johns County Education Foundation supporting teachers and students in our local public schools. We have the great Aletha Dresback with us today. Hello, my lovely. How are you?
Hi. We are doing well in the Dresback household, and glad to finally have our first week under our belt.
Fantastic. Donna, how's it going with you?
Oh, we're super excited and just so enjoy seeing the lovely Aletha with us today, and looking forward to hearing all about what's happening with her.
Awesome. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to start our first question. So, Aletha, how are you attempting to keep students physically moving at this time in virtual classrooms, and what methods are you using to tap into creative minds of your students?
You know, this I think is tough not only just for parents at home constantly to keep your children physically moving and up and about, but also from a teacher standpoint too. I didn't realize I walk about 12,000 steps a day when I'm actually in my classroom. So that's been something that's been really tough. We start every conference in my classroom or my conferences in Schoology with, what are you guys getting out and doing? So I encourage them every day to get something. I share with them every day stuff that we're doing as a family. And we start every conference connecting with them of physically, what are you doing? I'm fishing, I'm out playing soccer, I'm out running, I'm out walking, to make sure that they understand that that's so important. We also share our step count of how many steps you've been taking every day, to be able to get them up and moving. And we've all realized how much movement we truly do in school, in the school day, and how limited we've been, but people are finding unique ways to being able to do it. So I think that's good.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, that is a really fantastic and a lot of good ideas that, to keep everybody active. And it is amazing how, this world has isolated you and trying to make that more proactive with the exercising and stuff. So that's awesome. So I have a really cool question for you. So what is your favorite place in the world to visit and why?
Well, I've got two answers. Around here locally, the beach has been my favorite place to visit. It brings me tremendous peace. It brings me just to hear water crashing. But if we were to go globally, as a civics teacher and government teacher, absolutely my favorite place to visit is London. I love the historical nature of it. I love cities like London and like cities like New York and cities that are great and good and bad. I think that's what I really enjoyed, feeling the history of a city, fully immersing yourself in that city and being able to walk around and see how everybody lives on a daily basis. So London, and around here, definitely you can't beat our St. Johns County beaches.
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody is missing the beach right now. That is for sure. You see that all the time on the news, like let us go back to our beaches. I got a question for you. Many of our rookie of the year is Mia Bahar. Many of her friends in other states are not teaching virtually. So she's asking, how do you think virtual school is benefiting students during this time period of the pandemic, aside from a continuation of learning?
I think the virtual school has allowed a couple of tremendous features to be able to do. I think number one, I am connecting with my students. I know that seems crazy, and I know that seems, how do you do it virtually? But I think for them to have some normalcy and the same connecting of what they would normally do is so vital. I have colleagues of mine, Blake Zatillo and Missy Whitehead, who are sixth grade teachers, who the very first 10, 15 minutes of every conference is, let's talk shout out. Let's talk, what have you been doing? What do you got doing? What are you struggling with? What do you, wow. And I think having someone who is not their parents and having contact with people that are outside their household is so vital. And for them to continue to feel like they're moving forward. I think having school in the virtual learning classroom has been great. And I know personally, as a parent of 3, an elementary, a middle, and a high school student, it's been great to give some balance. not only just something to do, but they feel a little bit of normalcy. Yes, it's on the computer, or yes, it's paper for our elementary kids, but so important for them to feel like they're moving forward and that they have something to do and they feel that connection. Just being able to play a game yesterday with my civics kids, one of my students responded back, "It was so good to hear your voice. It was so good to hear you saying the exact same things we've come to hear." And my world history classes, we did a quizzy online, and they were like following everybody online, and it was like, oh, we feel like we're back in the classroom. So I think the learning has to continue in the now, but just to make those connections to the students and to give them some normalcy. I know it's helped me as a teacher to be able to connect with my students, and we're teaching way more than content. We're teaching social skills right now and organization. I've had a lot of students who are like, wait, I need you to help me get organized. I'm like, dude, you got to do it yourself. So I think a lot of social skills and life skills are being learned in this virtual learning continue, at least until the end of the school year. And if we can go back at May 4th, absolutely. I've got a whole different game plan for when we go back into the classroom.
Did you already have virtual parts of your curriculum already in, like when we were in the classroom? Did you already have that rolled out to your students?
You can teach an old dog new tricks. In my 27th year, this year, great Teresa McCormick, my neighbor next door to me, really started at the beginning of the year, Aletha, you got to go this way, you got to go this way, you got to go this way. So a lot of my documents were already online. We were using the calendar. And I am so glad, because my students kind of had a leg up in this regards to be able to go ahead and go online, because we had been doing it for so long, all year. And I'm so thankful for that. And teachers that have struggled, we've reached out to each other. You know, we need that connection too as teachers. And it's been great to be connecting with colleagues to say, I need help doing this, or what do you have going, and sharing all the vast resources that are out there. That connection with your colleagues is just as important as those students having that connection with their teachers as well.
You know, it's so amazing how you guys are still finding ways to collaborate with each other, you know, during this time, and really, you know, it's always for the betterment of the students. So, you know, kudos to you guys.
It's important. It really is. I Zoom with my world history teacher, my colleague, every week. What are we doing next week? What do you got? I got these great ideas as well. It's so vitally important that we don't feel isolated as a teacher, whether we're teaching the same subject or not teaching the same subject. It is I agree with you, Donna. It's so vital that you connect those colleagues and you do a Zoom meeting or you do a conference with them, just to have that connection. You know, at Valley Ridge, we're such a small middle school. We always are collaborating with each other. And if we did not continue that connection with each other, that's not what's made us successful. That PLC, that practicing, being able to have those learning communities, we've been able to continue that.
That's awesome. And I know that.
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know, the kids in St. Johns County are so fortunate to have so many dedicated teachers that are willing and craving for them to learn. You know, that's really cool. And you know what? Our friend Reagan Ashker from Creekside, she wants to know what collaboration strategies are working for you and your students to build a sense of classroom community online?
You know, this is, I think, one thing that a lot of us, especially us veterans that have been doing it for so long, we like that hands-on stuff. We like getting and have them doing posters and building things in our classroom. And I think this has probably been a little bit of a struggle. We are trying some group projects. We're trying to get them thinking outside of the box. We're trying to get them to tap into their knowledge of what technology they've learned as well, and utilizing those resources that they have at home as well. So next week, my kids are going to do, we're studying law, and they're going to do their own Hammurabi's Code based on stuff in my classroom, and they have several different platforms that they can do it. They can do a video, they can do a presentation in a conference to us as well. I think a lot of times this time that we're living in right now is us as teachers and educators to think outside the box. We have to step out of what we normally would do, and we have to utilize, and as anything, tap into those resources that the kids have available. My children are doing old pictures of us that have iMovies, and I really would like to be able to incorporate some of that technology as we move forward. It is baby steps. It is one step at a time, and the kids are learning, and we're all learning this as well. And it's just baby steps, but that creative side is so vitally important, as opposed to just sitting and staring at a screen all day. They have to produce something, even if it is with technology. They have to be able to do that. So we are working every day to get better at that creative side as well.
That's awesome. Hey, I have a question. This is a silly one. Kathy Hutchins wants to know, if you were walking down an aisle, let's say at our local Staples, and you had to pick out one school supply, what school supply would you be and why?
Oh, Staples. That's one of my favorite stores to go into. My students would be disappointed if I didn't use this as a thing. I would be a dry erase marker. I always write with dry erase markers. They come in multicolors. I'm a visual learner, so I constantly do things in different colors. But I think one of the major reasons why is because in a dry erase marker on my board, if I make a mistake, I can erase it and it no longer appears. And I think that to me was so important. I tell my kids all the time, dry erase markers are multiple colors, but look, I erase the mistake and it's not there anymore, and I can move forward and I can reuse that space that's there. So definitely a dry erase marker.
So did you start your career as a chalkboard teacher and then you what was that transition like?
We're going so far away. 1993 is when I started teaching. And it was not a chalkboard. It was not that long ago. But I did have to use transparencies with the vis-a-vis markers and write your notes on that and have it on a overhead, not a document camera. So again, multicolors, erased. That's kind of been the way it's been for this social studies teacher of 27 years.
That's awesome. Melissa Lime from Freedom Crossing, she's asking, what advice can you give teachers about setting up a weekly schedule that allows for a work-life balance? And how are you setting up boundaries yourself to avoid burnout while meeting the needs of your students and family?
I think this is the one as a teacher this past week I got the most of from parents. How do I schedule it all? I have 4 kids. I have 1 device at home. What do I do for scheduling? So on the personal side, we have a weekly scheduler, organizer that we use that I actually print out, that they write all their stuff down as well. And we try very hard. I have cafeteria hours in my house from 11 to 12. And 11 to 12, the cafeteria is open. We sit down, we eat. We may watch a movie. We may play a game. We may listen to music. We may do something. And as dinner time as well. I think a lot of times you have to plan out those times. We have to understand we are not working within traditional hours. We have to be flexible for that house that has multiple kids in there using 1 device to be able to do it. But at the same time, we're living in this as well as teachers. And we have to take a moment back and set aside what benefits and blessings are coming out of this time that we live in. So when we have dinner at my house, there's no devices. There's no devices at all. And if I'm watching a movie with my kids, or I'm doing stuff, or we're out on our walk, I'm not answering emails. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not doing that. It is important for you to digest the world we live in as a person, and yet to be there for your students and what they need as well. It's difficult to balance. I know last week I probably didn't do as good a job as I should have, but this week is getting better as well. That balance part is a necessity, Take time out to take a walk with your kids, or take a walk, or go for a run, or a bike ride. Even if it's in the middle of the day, it'll be okay. But you need that just as much as everybody else does as well.
Yeah, it's a good thing to find that perfect balance.
As a parent being at home, you're frustrated because that computer doesn't work, or that doesn't work as well in regards. And I constantly tell my kids, I'm learning. We're all learning this as well. But to have the structure and to have the knowledge that they need to do to move forward is so vital to the life that we live right now in regards to that. Parents are frustrated. Parents are working from home and now having to juggle 4 kids, teach schooling that we've taken care of for so long, it's frustrating. I think number one in all of that, you have to recognize that frustration as well. But I wholeheartedly believe, and I think teachers have to convey this to parents, I wholeheartedly believe this is the best way to do this for now. We can't just cancel school. We can't just let everything stop. You have to move forward. And to that parent, you have to tell that parent, we have to move forward. I realize you have struggles, and I realize that you're frustrated by this, but we have to take one step at a time. And this is the best thing for our kids. And with anything that St. Johns County School does, it is what is best for kids. And rolling out the curriculum in which we're doing and rolling out the way that we're doing it is what's best for kids. Is it ever changing? Absolutely. Will it continue to be changing? Absolutely, day to day. But we're doing right now what is best for kids. And we want that to happen with your child too. We want it to be the best for your child. And you've trusted us. And you've trusted us to school your child. You have to trust us right now. You have to trust teachers to let them know that teachers are doing the best possible job for your child. Yes, it's through a phone. Yes, it's through a computer. But we're not doing anything different in distributing or giving instruction that we would. The passion is still there. The love for your kids is still there. Trust us to do what is best for your child as far as education. And for the next 4 weeks, 3 weeks that we're in this, at least, we have to continue to do that way.
And just really, you know, so admire you and all of your colleagues for taking this challenge, for embracing and really learning, you know, new opportunities and new ways in which to provide instruction for the teachers or for the students. And, you know, what's even, you know, more is the admiration that I think, you know, is going on nationwide and worldwide for exactly who you guys are and what you do every day for the benefit of children, because they are all your children. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, and thanks to Inc. too. You guys have been amazing, not just through us being in the classroom and supplies and stuff, but what you're doing now, the videos and listening to what people are saying and teachers are. You've been a great outlet for us and still providing resources. And right now, we are truly in this all together. What normally people have thought is teaching or the great organization of Inc. to be able to do, it now truly encompasses the community. And we're very fortunate in St. Johns County to have Inc. that's there for us and to give us platforms to be able to share ideas with each other and to come. Like Davey heard from a teacher last night. That's important. We do need that. And we are in this all together from top to bottom, the entire community.
You're an inspiration to so many out there. So thank you so much for spending some time with us today and really kind of connecting. You were amazing. And we're here rooting for you the whole way. So please lean on us. Let us know if you hear a teacher, see a teacher, report a teacher. Let me know so we can get it resources up and out. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. You guys have a great day.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.